What's going on, everybody? RJ with RJ's Trades. Another episode of the free Sunday watch list. Okay, all I ask you guys to do is to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, that's all you gotta do for these free plays. Every week I hop on here and give you guys game. So let's get straight into it, man. The links are in the description for the free Discord as well as my Instagram and every other link I have. Okay, let's get straight into this thing. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time today. Let's go ahead and talk about SPY. Okay, so SPY, you always want to check SPY because SPY is the overall market. Okay, it's composed of the top 500 stocks in the market. So when they say the market, most times they're talking about SPY. All right, so we are finally getting some type of pullback, right? Some type of pullback. Okay, now the place where you really want this thing to pull back to, you see we had the nice drop on Friday. If you seen the free play Friday, you see that I talked about this dropping. A lot of people made a lot of money on that. But the place that we really wanted to drop down to is if we can catch SPY anywhere between this 609 and 613 area right here, that would be amazing, right? And why do I say that? I say that because if you take a look at this, this is where SPY had resistance in the past. Okay, so in December, January, and February, we could not break this spot. Okay, so we have broken out, but we have not retested yet. So this could be a really good dip buy area right here on SPY. This would be an amazing dip buy. Okay, so I hope SPY pulls back to that point. That's where you want to take your risk on loans again. Okay, don't be the person that was waiting on the market to dip and then don't make any moves when it dips, because you blink and it'll be right back up here, and who knows the next time you will get another chance on a dip. All right, so y'all are in August and September, so usually the market does kind of be a bit bearish in August and September, which is right on cue. That would be absolutely perfect. We still do have a gap to fill down at 600, and we still have another gap here down at 569. Will we get down there? I don't know. We will eventually, but who knows when, right? So yeah, that's what I'm seeing on SPY. So as far as SPY, you kind of just look to keep taking it down to the lows. I would not be trading puts down at 610 though. You know, down here around 613 to 610, around that area. You know, you're looking to go long, right? It's gonna bounce right there, I promise you. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing with QQQ. Take a look at QQQ right here. We need to come back and retest 539. All right, so we're still a little bit away from that. So the market could see some more downside. I hope it does. I hope it sees some more downside so we can get this move down here. This drop down will give us breathing room, right? It'll give these stocks room to come down and make a setup for us to take it on a swing back to the upside. Okay, so we want to see a dip down. You want it to dip down to be able to get these stocks lower. All right, so that's QQQ. Lululemon's one that I've been watching for a minute, man, and it just has not found a bottom yet. I wasn't gonna show y'all this, but I'll show it to you anyway. All right, so the next place that it can really kind of fall to is 162. So it's still $30 away. At this point, the stock is down like 60%, I think. Almost 63% that the stock is down. So that's a crazy move. I think down here is where you go all in. I think you go all in down here around 160 if it gets there. We could pop back up and maybe come back and retest around 220. That may be a spot where you want to possibly grab puts again if it gets there. I think this may eventually end up getting to 160, and that's where you want to go all in at. UNH, SMCI has already broken out, one we've been talking about for a long time. Coinbase has pulled back some, right? So Coinbase has pulled back now at 314, maybe even a little bit lower, because Bitcoin had dropped over the weekend a little bit. Possibly could you get a dip back down here into the 260s maybe, right? So this is where it took off from in June, right? But it hasn't came back and retested yet. So this could be a nice buy the dip spot to possibly go long, right? You want to go long when things dip. I never understood why everybody wants to grab leaps at all-time highs. That's not what you do. When things are at highs, you just want to get quick trades. You want to get in and out. You do not want to grab leaps at all-time highs. That makes no sense. Okay. Now when it gets down here, you're gonna be scared to buy it at all. It's really the opposite of what you think you should do. Okay. CCL. This is one that I'm watching this week that I'll give you guys. So we banked on CCL here, right, on this bull flat breakout and retest. Now we are back at the same spot and we have a bullish hammer at our level. Looks absolutely amazing. I probably should even got it on Friday. I just love this play, man, because if this thing happens to break out, if this happens to break out, this thing can go. I'm thinking it's gonna go past 40. I think it'll go past 40. My opinion, okay? If CCL breaks above this 2021 resistance at 31.4, 31.5, I'm putting my money on this thing going to 40 plus. Okay? So this is one that I'm watching heavily for some longer term contracts, right? So my eyes are on this one heavy right here. These contracts are pretty cheap too, so you don't have to put in a whole lot to make quite a bit on CCL if it goes, okay? So make sure you join the free version of Discord if you want my entry on that. Google, I'm not really interested in a whole lot of tech, honestly. Just because tech needs a bit of a cool down. Apple, I don't even know what to tell you about Apple. At this point, Apple's kind of losing its dominance a little bit. Well, a lot actually. Apple's losing its dominance a lot. Just the numbers just aren't, you know. People that you can make the numbers look the way that you want them to look, right? So you can always manipulate statistics to tell the story that you want to tell. But the underlying issue is it's not a lot of growth. No growth is going on. So Apple has to figure that out. Shopify, not liking it. Hymns, ACB, the Dow took a dip. Tesla's gonna be interesting. Tesla had I had a little bit like a little triangle type of thing going here, but Tesla's gonna be interesting because they can really kind of fall here if they don't hold this right here. See, I got a level down at 272. I think that would be a nice little place to buy on a dip, and down at 216. Of course, anything below that 272 for Tesla is good to grab it. This is just one that I think is inevitable to go up eventually. You just don't know when. So Amazon fell off a cliff from earnings, and yeah, they just basically lost all that they've gained from breaking out right here. So kind of just a reset right there. I don't think it's nothing too much to worry about. Amazon is still top 3 greatest companies in the world. Meta, they took off. Microsoft took off. Bitcoin's at 113. Okay, lift down at $13. PayPal, and back at SPY. So I think this week my eyes are heavy on SPY this week, right? So SPY this week is probably gonna be my top watch, to be honest with you. SPY I'm gonna be watching heavy. Also, did we go over Robinhood? I'm gonna watch Robinhood this week too. Robinhood has been moving a lot. They had earnings, so a lot of times when stocks have earnings, sometimes they'll sell off a little bit and then they'll go, right? So if you can catch Hood down here around 90, that's a pretty good support. Now if it doesn't hold 90, you want to look for puts, but if you catch that 90, you'll probably get a nice bounce if they don't blast it up, right? So it's had a lot of movement on Friday. Watch out for Hood. Definitely watch out for Hood. I don't know which way it's gonna go yet, but be on the lookout. I think my top stocks to watch this week, number 1 is gonna be SPY. I want to see what SPY does this week. I hope we can pull back more. You make so much money when the stocks fall because they fall a lot faster than they go up. So it's easier to make money when stocks are falling. So you know that it can come down to 610-ish, 613, 608, somewhere around there in that little $5 range. Okay, 613 to 608 range. You know it can fall, and it's kind of where you want to buy the dip. So watching out for SPY heavily this week. Also watching out for CCL, possibly on some longer term plays here if this holds. So we'll see, man. But make sure you guys join the free Discord. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, man. We almost at 1,000 subscribers. That's insane. That's insane. So I appreciate you guys for all the support, man. We're gonna keep making this money. We're gonna close out the year strong. We're in Q3. Let's go ahead and do it, man. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.